relatively little time has been devoted to studying the stories and traditions at that culture's foundations. However, by looking into mythology, one can develop a far deeper understanding and appreciation of Native American culture and spirituality.
Why is there so much interest these days here in Israel in a red cow? Well, because it's not just any red cow that we're talking about. We're talking about a red heifer.
Through the story of the white buffalo woman and the ritual she presents, one can develop a greater understanding of Native American spirituality and come to share in seeing the world as a deeply interconnected place.
Which in Hebrew is called a para aduma. And this red heifer was used to purify the Jewish people so that they could enter into the temple.
A pair of hunters in their search for game climb to a mountaintop and see something entirely unexpected approaching them from across the plains. A woman, clearly holy, or wakan, as white as snow and floating toward them.
And today, it's a source of interest and controversy here in Israel and throughout the world, as there are those who are seeking and preparing a red heifer so that Jews could be purified and enter the Temple Mount area and even seek to build the third temple. I think you're going to be especially interested in this subject.
With this holy pipe, she said, you will walk like a living prayer, with your feet resting upon the earth and the pipe stem reaching into the sky. Your body forms a living bridge between the sacred beneath and the sacred above. The great mystery Wakantanka smiles upon us, because now we are as one, earth.
The human race.
Sky.
The prince of the power of the air is a name for Satan.
All living things. Together with the people, they're all related. One family.
One of the most exciting things, very mysterious, is what is called the ashes of the red heifer. In the Bible, God commanded the Israelites to purify themselves with ashes of red heifer if they came in touch with dead bodies. When they are coming to worship God in the tabernacle, this is the word of God. Why ashes of red heifer? Only red heifer, not white. Why this can purify? God did not tell us in the Bible why, He just said do it.
The para aduma. Aduma sounds familiar, right? Like Adam. It means
Why
red earth.
ashes of red heifer?
So, just a thought here, but what if the interplay of red and white are more significant than what is being said on the surface? I think the white buffalo and the red heifer are very much interconnected things. They balance the story against each other.
Only red heifer, not white.
She, on the other hand, presents the people with the chanunpa, or more commonly known, peace pipe, and tobacco mixed with the bark of the red willow tree. The white buffalo woman, while clearly divine, calls the people brothers, and they call her sister. Gifting the people with her pipe is an act of union. As with it, she teaches the people how to pray.
The question is to what or whom?
The white buffalo woman proceeds to make it clear that her gift is not something that the people need to earn. Asking nothing in return, She takes the peace pipe and circles the medicine lodge 4 times. The people inhale the smoke, an act which she tells them is symbolic of how the eternal flame is passed through the generations. Through the breath of Tunkashila, or grandfather, the personification of Wakan Tanka, the great mystery of the spirit. The breath of the great mystery, the white buffalo woman says, dwells within the people. As one learns to connect the physical realm to the spiritual, using one's own mind as the bridge.
9 red heifers were born during the biblical times in the 2 temples and the tabernacle. And the biblical heritage is saying that when the 10th will be born, then the Messiah is coming. And what happened after 67, after the liberation of the Temple Mount? Suddenly started to born red heifers in Israel, in Europe, in America. Why? 2,000 years they were not born. It was another message from God. I am ready. A Christian pastor in Mississippi, his name is Claude Lott. He dedicated his farm to raise only red heifers. He wants to deliver them to Israel and to encourage the Jews to rebuild the temple.
It was December 1990. I was traveling overseas, and on my flight were 6 Lakota Sioux elders from South Dakota. They told me they were going to Baghdad to pray for peace. Some of their spiritual leaders had dreamed about a cloud of black smoke that would envelope the earth. One of the messengers was Arvel Looking Horse. Although our meeting was brief, Arvel's dedication to peace struck me as courageous and inspiring. 4 years later, I noticed Arvel's name in a magazine article about the miraculous birth of a white buffalo calf. Many Native people believe the birth of the white buffalo fulfilled an ancient prophecy. Arvel's story begins 19 generations ago, when a holy woman brought the sacred pipe to the Lakota people. The pipe is so sacred that Arvel asked that it not be filmed.
The pipe's bowl is made from red stone. It is the blood of your ancestors and represents the female. The stem of the pipe is made from the tree of life and represents the male. When you put them both together, you connect the world above and the world below. You pray for and with everything. She told them to honor the ceremonies and sacred sites. Each sacred site is an altar to the Great Spirit, she taught. Before she left, she said that her spirit would return to help us in a time of great hardship and that we would recognize her. As she left the people, she rolled over and became a black buffalo, then a red, yellow, and finally a white buffalo. We still have the pipe bundle that she left us 19 generations ago.
For 19 generations, this bundle has been in our family bloodline. I'm the 19th generation keeper of the sacred pipe, Chanupa.
In 1990, 100 years after the massacre at Wounded Knee, the sacred hoop of life was mended. The tree of life grew again, and a sign would come to bring the message of peace and forgiveness to the world.
4 years later, this white buffalo calf stood upon the earth. The spirit of this white buffalo, a lot of people dreamt about this, even before I was born. And people in the Sundance or Vision Quest, or people just at home, not dreaming about the white buffalo. And I thought to myself when I was very young, I would never see that day, because the story goes way back 19 generations. And since 1994, almost every year, a white buffalo calf stood upon Mother Earth. But we say that the positive is there, but the negative would be just as strong. So we have a message here today. It's a great urgency that's happening today. It's a blessing to all of us that the signs of these animals, white animals being born, but it's also a warning. We are at the crossroads, either be faced with a lot of disasters, or we can unite spiritually with nations of the world. We need to find that secure path for our children.
The white buffalo woman instructed a small nation to pray and hold ceremonies at sacred sites. 19 generations later, Arvel brought that message to the world and declared every June 21st as World Peace and Prayer Day.
We have only a short time to bring respect and honor back to Mother Earth. This is the message of the sacred white buffalo calf.
We are awaiting the Messiah to give us the ashes of the red heifer that are essential for our purification, to see the glory of the house of the Lord, the temple being restored and rebuilt when the Messiah comes. This is really one of the most interesting phenomena that I can think of, because Christians in America today are breeding cows, red heifers, trying to have the red heifer that would be used to purify the people of Israel so that the third temple could be rebuilt.